All right, so I wanted to do a video just to kind of give you a recap of the way things have been going over the past 24 hours. It's basically the same thing as what I said yesterday, which is that they haven't been messing with me as much, but as well, it seems as if it's because there's not the same type of complexity, there's not the same type of depth to the subject matter, to the type of, the level of thinking that's going to be required to work my way and troubleshoot my way through some of these constitutional provisions. It's just not there. And furthermore, when it does come to that, when I finally find something that's like, oh shit, this is going to take a little bit of thinking, or this is a little more complex, or this is a little bit of a bigger deal, then immediately they'll start messing with me again. So I think it probably has to do more with the fact that there's just not as much for them to fuck with me about, Furthermore, like when I first started up this video, they made me feel a lot of stuff about Alex Jones, and Alex made me feel like, oh, like the entitlement of Alex Jones. It's almost as if he was in the room and I can feel his presence, and he's basically saying stuff like, well, you're there and I'm able to get on your device, so this is exciting. We're gonna hack your phone. We're gonna stalk you. You know what I mean? Like that's just normal. We've been doing it for so long, and when we know that you're just a slave, and we just treat you like a slave, and it's like there's no regard there. In addition to that, it also is a lot of times like if I struggle to like enunciate something properly, then it always feels like Alex Jones is like. It always feels like Alex Jones is kind of like he's like laughing through his nostrils, like I'm smarter than you. You know what I mean? Like he's watching me and like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's so weird. It's like, but it's not. It's like he needs that. You know what I mean? Like the feeling of he needs it. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's like by the time you're stalking somebody and needing to say, oh, I'm smarter than you because you stuttered or struggled to enunciate something properly or something. It's like by the time you need that, it's like you ought to know that that's probably you're not smarter than that person. Like you're watching them, you're hacking their phone, and then now you're telling yourself that you're smarter than them. You should know that the reason you're even doing that is because you're not, and you just can't deal with it. You can't cope with the reality of it. And it feels like that. You know what I mean? It does feel like that. You know what I mean? It feels like an insult. You know what I mean? Like, just, it's so infuriating. You know what I mean? Just the way that it feels. You know what I mean? And it's just constantly like, just that fucking feeling. You know what I mean? Of, oh my God, just somebody who just always needs it, just always needs that. Like I always need to feel that insult of Alex Jones, you know what I mean? I'm smarter than you, like all this shit. Like it's not just that, like, and it would be one thing to hear that. It's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, you think you're smarter than me, fine. But it's just the way that I'm made to feel it. You know what I mean? It's so much more depth to it than that. It's like, I don't even know how to explain. It's like my thoughts are being contaminated, you know what I mean, by these, like this loser, you know what I mean? Like just a fucking loser, you know what I mean? And I think it's probably all tied together. I mean, it probably has to do with the women politicians, because it's, for one, everything that has to do with, oh, you would feel smart if, you know what I mean? Like a woman wants to obstruct a man, when he's really showing that he can achieve things. You know what I mean? Like it's a woman's nature to need like a position of dominance over any man who has ambition and drive and he's intelligent. By the time he's starting to achieve things, they need that. They need to rule you. They need to run you. They need to be like, oh, I did this and you couldn't do anything about it. You know what I mean? Or or, just anything like, make you, oh, you're going to need to check in with me every time you come by through here. And, you know what I mean? Oh, hey, pick this up right here off the ground. It's been sitting there for weeks. And it's like, maybe it should have been picked up by now, but it's like, on this day you needed it because this is the day that I got a good job, or just things like that constantly. You know what I mean? Like a guy comes to work and he's tall and driven and his family has money and he's going to college and you can tell he's going places. And one of the managers, who's a woman, won't let him have the same number of tables as everybody else. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, what's the deal here? You know what I mean? Just this guy, like, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's smarter than everybody else. Why are we acting like this? And it's just always, that pattern is always there, And so I think probably what it is it's probably having something to do with, for one, women looking in and saying, oh, well, he's been fucked with every single fucking time that something comes to his mind that's, going to require a certain degree of, thinking and troubleshooting. Like it's going to be hard to work through that fucking problem. And then in addition to that, oh, the women who got stalked in your life, that guy who had something to do with it. I mean, a woman's outlook on this is probably just fuck all men, period. Especially somebody like Alex Jones who like has things going in his life, you know what I mean? Like he's a driven person, by, what you can tell from just looking at him at a glance, he seems to be, a driven person, an ambitious person, somebody who's achieving things, I mean, granted, yes, he's a Fabian communist, and granted, yes, but I mean, just at a glance, he seems to be somebody who wants to accomplish things, and he's intelligent and he's capable. You know what I mean? So those three things together for a woman is like, well, already fuck Alex Jones. You see what I mean? And then women got stalked. Okay, so really fuck Alex Jones. And you're achieving things, so fuck you. And so actually just fuck everything that you're working on and just fuck your mind, period. And just, if it even occurs to you that that's important and you actually need it, your brain for this, so we don't all end up fucked, especially then, fuck you. And I want to see your mind crumble at that point every single time, the one where you don't even know if you could even resolve it or if you're even having the same degree of thinking that you were even having before, or if your mind can even re-engage on that level, because it probably can't. That's not how gamma waves work. Okay? And so, but women seeing this and being like, yay, that's good. And let's just redirect that over to being mad at this other ambitious man who has a lot to offer because a woman got stalked. You know what I mean? So honestly, dude, I believe it. I believe it's probably having nothing to do with anything but women, period. And which, when I think about it, makes me suspicious, because the way that this thing is designed is so well thought out. I mean, it's basically like, if you had a complaint about the government and you didn't even know what this was, then you didn't really even have a complaint, because you don't even know what the solution is. You know what I mean? But now you have the solution. You know what I mean? And now you actually can complain and say, this is bullshit. It's not like this. You know what I mean? And it makes me wonder, I don't know what to say, but it kind of makes me wonder, with it being so well thought out, if men, even in positions of power, aren't getting a hold of it and being like, somebody took a long time to build this, and it'll work. You know what I mean? All it takes is the political, fortitude, or, to just push it into power, and then just, it's done. Everything's accomplished at that point. The blueprint is there. You know what I mean? Actually, freedom is right there. You know what I mean? Which kind of surprises me if that's the case, because I think about this sometimes. I think men are probably a little bit more just hardwired like that, even though probably a lot of them are corrupt. Probably a lot of them really are looking at something like that and they're like, we need something like this. Even if we can't see eye to eye on a million different things, we actually need this. And if we can just get that, then that'll be fine. And really the holdouts are women, which actually does kind of surprise me that would even be the case, because it does and doesn't surprise me, because people can kind of like, if it's something that's like, well, all we have to do is just do it once, then we can kind of like gather ourselves together and be like, circle the wagons or whatever you want to call it, and be like, okay, yeah, let's just do it and be done with it. I could see that more being the case, but it still kind of would surprise me if it actually happened. And what's left is actually just this, like, the women are holdouts, and the women are basically saying, well, he's got to be miserable, like, about every fucking thing that he wants to accomplish something. And Alex Jones has to be a target, because Alex Jones, is an accomplished person, or at least a driven person, at least, by the looks of it, And these days he actually might be. So much fucking time has passed. It's like, I get it. Like, it is horrible, what he did. And they can get me so upset about it. But the thing about it is just, I don't know, man. I don't harbor those types of grudges anymore. You know what I mean? I'm pissed that all that shit happened, and I don't know what I want to come out of it. Usually by the time I'm talking about killing people and wanting everybody in prison and shit like that, then I'm pissed about something else. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to. I don't even want to talk about that. But the point of the story is just that when it comes to Alex Jones and, what's going on with Alex Jones, God damn, I don't, it's like the statute of limitations ran out. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, bad things happen. My family got stalked. I am pissed about it. I just don't mull it over like that. You know what I mean? I don't spend a lot of time sitting here going like, fuck Alex Jones. I just don't do it. You know what I mean? I kind of move on in life, and I kind of expect that even they probably have moved on to a large extent, over things like that. And I really see it as something that a woman would still be upset about. You know what I mean? Because I just don't, women got stalked. It still does look bad, and I also sometimes speculate, is it not something that they're doing, or whatever you want to call it, is doing to basically say, well, I am God taking revenge, and people will say, yay, God's taking revenge, because they do that, and I have a strong feeling that they intend to do that. To the extent of which they're looking to do that, I have no idea. It really could go a lot of different ways. I'll be honest with you. We've talked about giving some of these politicians money and sending them to South America, because it's just, we couldn't justify just letting them go with as much terrible things as are going on, like the war on drugs. 1 out of every 185 U.S. citizens is in jail. That's ridiculous. That's more than 15 times too many. Okay? And it's for them, and for the police officers, it's like, it's hanging, they left it to where it's hanging in the air. What's going to happen to the police? Are they going to go to prison for a long time, or are they going to go to prison for a short time? But either way, they're going to go to prison or jail, for a while, months at least, could be years. And in reality, that's what they fucking deserve, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay? These fucking people deserve to be in prison for a hell of a long time. A hell of a long time. Just because I'm in a good mood is basically the only reason that I'm thinking about letting them off. And I don't even know why I even think like that. part of me, I think, thinks like that because the new system is so, foolproof. I mean, you really can't screw that up. So should I hold it against you that you didn't have a system like that? Because in reality, what the voters vote in and what the government is willing to do is just infinitely bad. You know what I mean? Basically the only point of having people even vote is just to tell the government, don't kill us all. You know what I mean? And I say that it's not exactly that. You know what I mean? Because in some cases, the voters can see, oh, this guy actually looks like he has good intentions. I don't think they can understand politics that well. I think that they can look at a person and say, I think this person is genuine. And I think they can understand that. But even that can be misleading. You know what I mean? And so the voters really aren't good for much of a saving grace. You know what I mean? The founders, the Constitution itself has to be preventive against every single thing that they may get up to, or else essentially the Constitution has failed. And so there's a lot of truth in that. And in reality, the nature of the situation is like to punish police and, to punish police for what the voters went and voted and said, yes, put all those drug addicts in jail. Anybody who touches a drug, put them in prison. You know what I mean? And then somebody paid them to go and actually do it. It's not black and white. You can't say, oh, well, the government said it was okay, so therefore it's okay. Are you going to say that every time? You're going to say that makes it okay when Nazi Germany grabbed up Jewish people and just systematically exterminated them? You're going to say it's okay because the government said it's okay? Look, I just felt Alex Jones just came in here. He's like, Alex Jones is feeling vicious because I made a valid point here. That's a problem, honestly. Yeah, stepping into Alex Jones' realm was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. Being nice to him, simply being nice to him was the biggest mistake I ever made. Because that to him was an invitation. You know what I mean? To hack my phone, to treat me like shit, to stalk my family. Being nice to him was an invitation. That's why some people who've been treated bad in life, they're losers, outcasts. You can't just be too nice to them. You know what I mean? They'll take all kinds of permissions out of that you wouldn't even fucking believe it. But, what I'm saying is just that, what I'm saying is just, it's so annoying with Alex Jones. Oh my God. The way that they make me feel, it's not just like, it's like I feel it. You know what I mean? It's like I feel it. You know what I mean? Like I feel it. Like it's Alex Jones. You know what I mean? And like that feeling of him just being like, oh, I can't even explain it. Words couldn't explain it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like watching a video of somebody. You can take so much of who they are, from that, or just listening to someone talk or just being in their presence. You can never describe that in words. You know what I mean? Like, well, he's a prick, but that's not explaining it. You know what I mean? It's just like arrogance, like entitlement, like emboldened. You know what I mean? Like all those types of feelings. You know what I mean? Like those feelings, like I heard you say this and now I'm entitled, I'm emboldened. You know what I mean? To be in your life, to have you know what I mean? That you aren't just going to say that. You aren't just going to make that intelligent point, Tanner. Because I'm Alex Jones. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is the feeling, you know what I mean, that I get. And it's just like this little nobody who needed it so bad. Like, he's such a little piece of nothing, really. You know what I mean? Like, just to see him in person, he's such a little pest. You know what I mean? Like he's literally only about 5'3". I mean, swear to God, I'm about 6 foot even. He's literally 5'3". I mean, it's like, holy shit, this dude's tiny. You know what I mean? Like when I ran into him in person at a fucking protest, I was like, this is one tiny motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like really, really small. You know? And it's just that's what I'm saying is like this motherfucker. The way they make me feel like it could never be anything else. You know what I mean? Like he is such a small little piece of shit, and for him to pick up on something like that, like it would never be anything else. You know. But I think they have another agenda too that has to do with jealousy, and for some reason they want to talk a lot about jealousy. Like people that you know, it seems a lot to do with like emerging from a bad situation or like a blue collar situation or just anything like that. It's just all like jealousy people, like short people. They want to make a big deal about short men and like blue collar people. And like, it's a lot about short men and blue collar people, like viciously. And they don't go on with the blue collar shit as much as like this Alex Jones shit is really wearing me out. But it's really just Alex Jones right now for some reason. You know what I mean? It's just so fucking crazy, man. And but yeah, I don't even give a shit. But the point of the story is just that I think what I'm trying to say is just, you know, when it gets down to, you know, deciding on what's going to happen to these fucking police. So this is Alex Jones is going to get jealous of this because he can't decide on what's going to happen to somebody. This is the kind of shit that he wants. You know what I mean? This is the kind of shit that he needs. You know? Because Alex Jones is a loser. You know what I mean? And always for the rest of Alex Jones' life, he'll be trying to measure up to me somehow. Like that'll be his whole life. You know what I mean? That's just, it was such a mistake stepping into his fucking company. I mean, he quit making documentaries and everything. I think all that he cared about from that point on was just measuring up to me, period. Is the most ridiculous shit would come out of his fucking mouth. And I mentioned one time something about my dad, and then he never stopped talking about his dad. You know what I mean? Like that'll be the end of it. Like that's all that it'll ever be. You know what I mean? Like for him, that's it. You know? I made the biggest mistake. This motherfucker, that'll never stop. I'll be catching this motherfucker hacking my devices for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? He'll just be in and out of prison for the rest of his life. Hacking my devices, that'll be the end of it. That'll be his whole fucking life. So, but anyways, but yeah, it's just, you know, goddamn, dude. But it's just, and a lot of times this Alex Jones shit doesn't start till the fucking camera gets rolling. I don't understand that. But either ways, the point of the story is just, you know, when it comes to, you know, how much prison time, this is probably the women, you know, because I'm talking about giving people prison time and shit. So that's actually having power. So they're going to have it look like it isn't about women. It's about Alex Jones. Yeah. Okay. But either way, it's, you know, it is true. I'll be honest with you. It is true that these police deserve not just a couple years or a few months locked up. They deserve to spend the rest of their lives locked up. Okay? The rest of their lives. I just don't want to see this entire country ripped to fucking pieces so then justice can be served. You know what I mean? Because they're not actually just going to want to give up or anything like that. You know what I mean? That many people that desperate, it can be a really big problem. And then if you start saying, well, and if the police deserve to spend the rest of their lives locked up for what happened with the war on drugs, then the politicians should be put to death. And actually, that would be justice. You know, that would be actually justice. Which I don't even believe in the death penalty. But once it's, once something's being conducted against humanity on that scale, I mean, look, if you're a serial killer, you're not going to get around to killing 1,000 people. But if you're a politician, I mean, you could end up killing well more than that. You know what I mean? Without even really trying, just on accident. You know what I mean? But you start talking about, oh, we're going to kill all the politicians. We're going to put all the police in jail, lock them up, and throw away the key. Yeah, that's justice. You know what I mean? But at what cost? I mean, they told me before I even headed for California a couple years ago, was, they're building factories to fight you right now. They're building factories to fight you. They're building ammunition. They're building stockpiles of munitions and tanks and machine guns and, Apache helicopters, and they're cranking this shit out just to fight me. And what I have to offer, which maybe shouldn't be all this perfect idea of justice. Maybe I'll just give you a perfect government, and then let's just forget about all the perfect justice. But it's just going to depend on what they want, But I'm not married to that. You know what I mean? I was when I was younger. I'm almost 41 years old. When I was 29, I specifically remember being so angry that I was actually miserable. And I was not happy because all I was pissed off. And I would turn on Cops and I would watch them grabbing these people for drugs and stuff. Man, I was so fucking pissed. I was so mad when I watched that. It was all I could do. I had to go make a YouTube video immediately. Talking trash about all of it. I just had to. You know what I mean? I would just storm upstairs. And I was so mad all the time. Primarily about that. I'd done a lot of deep research on it. I understood it probably better than anyone, statistically, from every single angle, as well as some of the, craziness that they were getting up to with Soviet brainwashing facilities and everything else. So I understood the ineffectiveness of it. I understood exactly how it was destroying America. I understood that it was a violation of my rights, just straight up. There's no way to, try and camouflage that, I mean, you're an adult, you know what I mean? Then you want to do a line of cocaine, then go to the store and buy you some cocaine and then go home and then do it. You know what I mean? It's your life, man. For real. It's not, you're in a lot of pain. Maybe go get you some heroin. You know what I mean? If it can't be resolved, if medicine won't help, if it's serious enough, maybe go get you some heroin, dude, and just put yourself out of your fucking misery, because that sucks. Just whatever it is, you know what I mean? But as an adult, morphine, just whatever, is cocaine. Let's say you're 30 fucking years old. Somebody's supposed to tell you that you can't go to the fucking store and get you some cocaine? Do you want to do a little cocaine? You're 30 fucking years old? These people have no business telling you this shit. You know what I mean? They have no business telling you that you shouldn't do cocaine. You know what I mean? They really don't. I mean, maybe a television advertisement every once in a while is like, cocaine's bad for you. Just wanted to remind you that. Like, they don't even fucking know that. Or put a Surgeon General's warning on there. Cocaine is bad for you. I mean, people know that. It's ridiculous, man. It's like, yeah, it's dangerous. Don't let kids get their hands on it. You know, maybe put a little warning label on it. Don't let kids get their hands on it. That can be a crime. You can go to jail for that if a kid gets hold of it. You know. But obviously, nobody's going to be like lining up lines of coke for a 5-year-old to fucking snort. For one, it's too expensive. But I mean, for another thing, it's like this is what they think is going to happen if they make it legal. You know, it's like they think that people are just going to start lining up lines of coke for 5-year-olds and hey kids, come in here and do your cocaine. Yeah, because we got to keep it illegal, or that's going to be going on. Millions of people locked up, or else that will happen. People will just invite their kids in and just say, hey, kids, come do cocaine. If it happened once anywhere in America, it's worth everybody going to prison. Isn't that the moral high ground? You know what I mean? Isn't that the moral imperative? Well, if it could happen to one kid, 50 million Americans should be in prison, adults, for what they do to themselves. And I spent a lot of time really angry about this kind of thing, especially once I understood the hypocrisy of the church. Oh my God, here's Alex Jones. He's arrived, or he feels like he's arrived or something. Because he understood what I said. That means he's smarter than me. If you understand what I'm saying, that means you're smarter than me. But, especially once I understood the hypocrisy of, Christianity claiming to be in favor of the war on drugs and this kind of thing. Once I understood the hypocrisy of it, then I was even more pissed off. And I was doing so much meditation. I was just pissed off about a lot of things that affected other people. Oh, man. And they're making me feel like this Alex Jones shit is getting to be too much. Like, Alex Jones can't, deal with it anymore. He's not measuring up. Literally. He can't. He's only 5'3". He can't measure up. But it's just so annoying, man. Alex Jones is hearing all this, Tanner. Alex Jones is hearing all this. He can't measure up to all that now, Tanner. Now Alex Jones is hearing all this. This is what they make me feel like. Oh my God. Anyways, let me try to get this, because they're making me feel, I'm just going to have to gut through it, because this Alex Jones shit isn't going away. And then I'm just going to have to be done. This is fucking ridiculous. But the point is just to say that, I was extremely mad about what was happening to people with regard to the war on drugs. But I can't explain it to you how much. You know what I mean? It's something about grabbing a person and shoving them into a cage who's innocent. You know what I mean? And then doing it all over the fucking place. And then being like, oh, that's not a big deal. Oh, that's not a big deal. We'll just give you, a little slap on the wrist. It'll be okay. No big deal. No big deal. All you did was just kidnap and enslave masses of people. That's all you did. Those people are affected by that. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. They get hurt in jail. There's vicious people in there. It's more than just being subjugated. It's more than just being held in a cage like an animal. You're actively being placed in the presence of violent people that are not happy, And most of them are scared, and they feel like in order for them to be safe, that they've got to be violent. So it's a whole violent nightmare. You know what I mean? And just to even spend literally 5 minutes inside of a fucking jail, the torment that you can derive from that will blow your fucking mind. Blow your fucking mind. You know what I mean? And then these fucking cops grab these fucking, sorry, this Alex Jones shit is getting to be too much. I'm not going to be able to keep going. Because Alex Jones sees this. You know that, right? He's not able to measure up to you. So you know that, right? Like that feeling, you know what I mean? Like, but anyways, it's just, so I can't just keep going with this. But the point of the story is just to say that, you know, that you know, just the extent to which this is being conducted, you know? I mean, these cops, I mean, if you grab 20 people like that a year, and each of them spends 10 years in a fucking prison, 200 years of human life gone, a year maybe, you know? And then you come to me and say, oh, hey, what's justice in that situation? It's like, well, maybe blow the cop's brains out. That would be justice. Or just lock him up and never let him out. That's justice. And the politicians who are responsible for it, kill every one of them. That's justice. Seriously. And when I was younger, I was so... If they had put me in charge of the government at that age, y'all would have all been fucked. Y'all would have all been fucked. Every fucking one of you. If you had ever crossed me, ever once, I'd have had you killed. And every single one of you who even did anything like that, you'd never get out of prison. And there would be no hope for you. You understand that? And it wouldn't even matter if it pissed somebody off or not. That's the way it was going to fucking be. All right? Now, I'm older now, and I don't want to deal with things as much as I used to. You know, I would have drugged this whole country into war and never thought twice about it. I would have, you know, I would have been like, your life is going to be costed by this, and so is mine, and we're both going to die. And probably we're going to be injured on the way. And that's the way it's going to be. You understand? And this is going to suck. But not as much as it sucks to be in my head right now thinking about how much I hate these fucking people. That's what really sucks. And nothing sucks more than that. You know what I mean? Nothing sucks more than that. To the point where it's like, oh my God, I'm fucking miserable. I'm fucking miserable. I'm mad all the time. You know what I mean? To the point where it was like, oh my God, I was so fucking upset. To the point where it was like, I can't believe how pissed off I am all the time. Like, I'm so pissed off, I can't stop. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a matter of comforting me. You know what I mean? Like, my life wasn't about seeking comfort, you know, out of like trying to dodge the government or some loser like Alex Jones. You know what I mean? It was more like trying to find comfort from like wanting to bash your fucking head in with a baseball bat and trying to figure out how to get that done every fucking day. You know what I mean? And that would be the extent of it. You know, I actually quit because of Alex Jones because I was so disgusted with him. I didn't even know why I hated him so much. I just knew that all he did was take my message and run it off the ledge of a fucking cliff. And I was totally fucking sick of it. I didn't even understand how that worked. You know what I mean? I didn't understand that he was a Fabian communist, wolf in sheep's clothing fraud. You know what I mean? Every day I spent, 30 minutes to an hour studying things so I could show them to people in videos. And Alex, all he did was try to figure out how to defraud my fucking message. That was it. That's all he fucking did. That dude's the biggest fucking piece of fucking shit. I wish he was dead. Okay? I wish he was fucking dead. Just if I have to feel anything else from him, no, this is how I feel about him. He's the biggest piece of shit. Like, the last thing I'm ever going to be afraid of is some piece of shit like Alex Jones. I swear to God, one of these days I'll kill you myself. Just for you being stupid enough to even raise a voice to me at all, ever. But the point of the story is just, you know, I don't know, just thinking about Alex Jones right now. I just want to kill his dumb ass. So anyways, I have no idea. Generally speaking, it's just hard for me to think like that as I used to. They're making me feel all this shit with Alex Jones right now, so I'm just going to have to stay mad at Alex Jones for some reason. Probably the women see, I made a strong point to women about what's going on, and now they need me to stay mad about it. This is all going to be about women from now on. How they run something. Yeah, they run something. They like to fuck shit up when they run anything. But anyways, the main thing is just that it doesn't really fucking matter. I may have made too many strong points because now it's just going to be nothing but Alex Jones bullshit. You know, so. But yeah, it's just, if I'm tortured enough by these alien entity, whatever the hell it is, then I can get to that point. Generally speaking, I don't want to talk about it because they're fucking with me right now with this Alex Jones shit. But I don't guess it matters. I mean, in reality, that is the truth of the matter. I don't think that it's going to be as convenient as it might seem. Like, oh yeah, you got the power. Why don't you just go ahead and, you know, divvy out justice to everybody who deserves it to the exact degree that they deserve it. You know what I mean? And that's hard to even say. You know what I mean? Because the system isn't what it's supposed to be. You know? So for me to say, you deserve this much, is hard to say. But if we were just to say, okay, well, then they do deserve it. You know? It's a terrible situation. The war on drugs, all this shit. Okay. Then let's do it. Well, actually, there's going to be consequences. You know, because now you're talking about killing people in power. Now you're talking about killing all the cops and all this, you know, putting all these police in jail and never letting them out. You're talking about people that have their hands on power right now. It's just, I don't think it's going to be that simple, you know. I think in a perfect world, you know, yeah, sure. You know, in a perfect world, lock them up, throw away the key, and kill all the politicians for the war on drugs, pretty much all of them, you know, for the war on drugs, or just, you know, there's so many things, you know, that they do wrong, specifically that, you know, there's just so many things that they do wrong. It's ridiculous. And you look at some of these people, and most of them look like they're not even that intelligent. You know what I mean? They're not even smart enough to manage a McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, really, some of these elected politicians, it's like, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Just listening to them talk, you know? But, you know, either way, I doubt they even understand what the hell is going on. Most of them. And so, I don't know, man. I don't know what my point of even talking about this was. They aren't letting me really think about it, but it's because now it's got to be all about Alex Jones. Everything's got to be about Alex Jones. That's exactly what he wanted. You know what I mean? Alex Jones always wanted everything to be about Alex Jones. I'm Alex Jones, yeah. And then we can always just make everything that you can be the center of Jesus Christ world. And I always have to talk about Alex Jones. That would be everything Alex Jones ever wanted. You know what I mean? So he can be the biggest pest, the biggest nuisance, the biggest fraud. You know what I mean? And be worshipped for it. That's what he always wanted. Because trust me, for him, that's the same thing as being worshipped. If he can get that much attention, oh, he'll love it. He'll love it forever. But anyways, but it's just so fucking annoying. I'm so tired of talking about Alex Jones, man. Like, they always have to redo this whole fucking thing. I don't even remember what my fucking point was. I think my point was probably something like, you know, well, just looking at it, you know what I mean? Like, the nature, like, what is the nature of the situation, you know? It is that it used to be, I will put all of your asses in prison if I ever get the chance. And have a bunch of you killed. Period. Bar none, you ain't going to negotiate me out of that. That's the way I feel about it. That's the way I'm always going to feel about it. Then as I got older, it was like, well, they should be killed. And they should be in prison for what they should, you know. But whatever. You know. I'm not going to fix it. And then as I got even older, then it was, well, actually, you are going to have the authority to do that. And I was like, well, they've designed that. They're going to do that. I'm not having anything to do with that. But yeah, they deserve it. You know, they deserve it a lot. And then later on down the road, it was, well, actually, you're going to decide that. And it was like, oh shit. And it just kind of taking you through that, you know, that it's my, you know, where I'm at with that is, I think I'm just, my point, they're fucking with me, so I can't even say what my point was, but I think you understand. It's just basically, you know, that at one point in time, it was harsh shit, and it isn't anymore, but I still feel like it probably should be, you know? You know, that's what I'm basically saying. It's just this video got way too long because these things had to fuck with me about every little fucking thing, dude. It's so fucking ridiculous. I can't just fucking say that. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have this whole fucking, like, squandering time of a fucking video. I can't just fucking say that, or, like, what's the fucking problem? You know what I mean? Seriously, so fucking ridiculous, dude. Everything is so fucking ridiculous with these things, man. Like, they have to fuck with every little thing. That's what I'm saying. That's why I end up saying this every single day. It's like, you have to fuck with every little thing. You know what I mean? Like, every little thing. You know what I mean? Like, even just wanting to say that, I couldn't even just say that. You know, like, they were going to have to fuck with that. And it's just so fucking miserable, dude. It really is. It's just, I'm so fucking tired of it, man. Really. I'm so tired of being fucked with all the time. You know what I mean? It's like something miserable out there is just won't let it go. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else going to work. And it probably is a woman thing. Because now they get to see me, like, squandering time, being miserable, trying to explain something to you, trying to say something that maybe might cast me in a powerful light. You know? Like, that's a woman's issue. You know what I mean? For you to be powerful as a man, that they cannot just deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's basically like a slap in the face to women. Like, it isn't. Like, I was just explaining something interesting, but they'll take it that way. You know what I mean? And so I'll never just be able to just fucking say that. I think all I was trying to say is just my idea of justice isn't what it used to be, but it probably should be. You know? Like, my idea of justice isn't, unless they're doing something to piss me off, I can't even grasp it because they're just fucking with me. Like, this to me is like, this doesn't surprise me because this is the way that women are, that it would always be like this, like unending shit. You know what I mean? Like somehow there's women out there that are actually just, they're clung to this steadfast, watching this probably as I'm shooting it, not even, just hacking my phone, having some kind of political power or something. And then just this didn't get old or boring at all. You know what I mean? Even as I was sitting here going like, wow, I can't even just say that. Like, you're just going to fuck with me, or I can't even just fucking say that. You know what I mean? Like, there was women out there who was like, yes, we needed that. You know what I mean? It was just going to be like that. You know what I mean? That's the miserable shit that I'll probably never get out from underneath. It's so fucking ridiculous. The way that women are is so fucking ridiculous, man. So I still don't feel like I've ever said what I meant to say. Like, they're just clouding my thoughts and making me feel like bullshit about Alex Jones. It's like, no, it's not going to be enough. You're never going to be able to do that. No. It's just, what the fuck, man?